What is peripety according to Aristotle? The reversal of the situation in the plot of a tragedy is peripetia or peripety. The change of fortune should be an event that occurs contrary to the audience's expectations and that is therefore surprising, but that nonetheless appears as a necessary outcome of the preceding actions. If someone you love dies unexpectedly, you're going to feel regret. Everything that you would have done differently, should have done, could have done differently will come to mind at that time, and you will experience peripety or peripetia. Everything will go from one state to its opposite all of a sudden, and you will see things differently because of it. You will learn more about yourself at that time than you will about other things in the world. But before you can experience peripety or peripetia, you will experience discovery, because discovery is what brings it about. Or what the means of it is, that's a change from ignorance to knowledge, and thus from love to hate, or the personage is marked for good and evil. And this, the finest form of discovery, is attended by peripety. You win the lottery, you're going to prosperity. That's another extreme, right? Even if you live in a normal life. But what's even most extreme is if an enemy, you realize that someone you thought was an enemy, this is an example of extreme opposite, is that that's your friend now. It's helping you, all right? Someone you hated, now you might have a change of heart, right? And you discover that it's not what you thought. And things go from one state all the way to their opposite. And you learning more about yourself than you are about the world, but you're learning about both. And these strategies are understanding these this is really a tactic that you will use about understanding life. And with these tactics, you'll apply strategies by way of understanding these tactics. Listen to Mike Rowe.
Like, how did I get here? How did I get here? It's just one of those moments where the brain goes, off on its own, and suddenly I'm standing there in the Rockies, and all I can think of is the Aristotelian definition of a tragedy. Aristotle says a tragedy is that moment when the hero comes face to face with his true identity. And I'm like, this is a jacked up metaphor. I don't like what I'm thinking right now, and I can't get this thought out of my head, and I can't get that vision out of my sight. So I did what, I had to do. I went in, and I took him like this, and I yanked my head back, and I'm standing there with two testicles on my chin. And now I can't shake the metaphor, okay? I'm still in poetics and Aristotle, and I'm thinking, out of nowhere, two terms come crashing into my head that I hadn't heard since my classics professor in college drilled them there, and they are anagnorisis and peripetia. Anagnorisis and peripetia. Anagnorisis is the Greek word for discovery. Literally, the translation, the transition from ignorance to knowledge is anagnorisis. It's what our network does. It's what Dirty Jobs is, and I'm up to my neck in anagnorises every single day. Great. The other word, peripetia, that's the moment in the great tragedies, Euripides and Sophocles. That's the moment where Oedipus has his moment where he suddenly realizes that hot chick he's been sleeping with and having babies with is his mother, okay? That's peripety. Or peripetia. And this metaphor in my head, I got anagnorisis and peripetia on my chin. I gotta tell you, it's such a great device though. When you start to look for peripetia, you find it everywhere. Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, right? He spends the whole movie trying to help the little kid who sees dead people, and then boom, oh, I'm dead, peripetia. It's crushing when the audience sees it the right way. Neo in The Matrix, oh, I'm living in a computer program. That's weird. These discoveries that lead to sudden realizations, and I've been having them over 200 dirty jobs. I have them all the time, but that one drilled something home in a way that I just wasn't prepared for. And as I stood there, looking at the happy lamb that, I had just defiled, but it looked okay. Looking at that poor other little thing that I'd done it the right way on. And I just was struck by if I'm wrong about that, and if I'm wrong so often in a literal way, what other peripatetic misconceptions might I be able to comment upon? Because look, I'm not a social anthropologist, but I have a friend who is, and I talked to him, and he says, hey, Mike, look, I mean, I don't know if your brain is interested in this sort of thing or not, but do you realize, I mean, you've shot in every state. You've worked in mining, you've worked in fishing, you've worked in steel, you've worked in every major industry. You've had your back shoulder to shoulder with these guys that our politicians are desperate to relate to every 4 years, right? I can still see Hillary doing the shots of rye, dribbling down her chin with the steel workers. I mean, these are the people that I work with every single day. And if you have something to say about their thoughts collectively, it might be time to think about it because, dude, 4 years. So that's in my head, testicles are on my chin, thoughts are bouncing around, and after that shoot, Dirty Jobs really didn't change in terms of what the show is, but it changed for me personally. And now when I talk about the show, I no longer just tell the story you heard and 190 like it. I do, but I also start to talk about some of the other things I got wrong, some of the other notions of work that I have just been assuming are sacrosanct, and they're not. People with dirty jobs are happier than...
So, peripety is the change of the kind described from one state of things within a situation to its opposite. And to that we're saying the probable or necessary sequence of events, right? Discovery, on the other hand, is, as the very word implies, a change from ignorance to knowledge, and thus to either love or hate, and the personages marked for good or evil fortune. The finest form of discovery is one attended by peripeties. I'm Austin with The Art of War Made Easy. Stick around, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification bell. You get the notifications for the videos. I'm trying to put up at least 1 or 2 a day, sometimes more than that. I got the hour by hour playlist, and I'll have more on strategy so that you can see how useful the art of war is in life, and you'll make things better and you'll be more efficient and fast. All right, I'll see you soon.